Fours. Yeah, good enough. Oh,
Interesting. Okay, yeah, your magic missiles collide with this shadow creature. It turns towards you and opens its mouth, and you hear babbling noises come out, like you hear like a dozen men going, "What's going on? Where am I?" And like you hear the king's voice in there, and it's like, "Who's there? What's happening?" And the king is like, "That's me." And then you hear a voice that's like, "Max, you seek power. I can give it to you. Knowledge from
Oh,
beyond the grave you can find nowhere else.
oh boy.
All I need is a liter of your blood."
Don't give in to the necromancy, Max.
What do you guys do?
you can get the
Don't give in
blood
to
from
The
Max.
shadow
necromancy.
crocodile, by the way, is floating towards you very slowly. It's not even swimming, it's just like a shadow floating through the air, moving towards Max extremely slowly. And, yeah, it's made its offer.
Well,
Don't do it, Max. Don't give in to the darkness. The darkness. It will consume you. It will consume you, I say. I'm spouting lore.
About what? Because you've already failed to spout lore about
I
the
was
crocodile.
trying to discern reality about the crocodile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. Let's do it.
About why blood magic is a terrible, terrible decision.
Excellent.
And spout lore is 2d6 plus intelligence.
Yeah, roll plus int. Would you say I'm going to give you a little help here. Would you say that perhaps you know something in the grand history of the world about blood magic?
Um, well, I appreciate you trying to throw me a bone there. There's a different area of expertise. It's spells and magics, and that's not mine.
Uh,
So,
okay, all right. You got an 8. I will tell you something interesting. It's up to you to make it useful. Fascinating. Um, you know that creatures such as this attach themselves to places until their work is complete. How do you know this?
I have, in my travels, come across darker places in the world with dark spirits inhabiting them, generally involving me running away, but excuse me, generally resulting in me running away, but I have encountered dark spirits in dark places of the world before in my travels.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, so you spout some lore and tell people about this. It's up to you to make it useful, however. What are the rest of you doing as the shadow crocodile continues to float closer?
Well, I tried.
I want to point out the whole time you're doing this, by the way, the whole time you're spouting the lore, you're still lying on top of
Oh yeah, of
Max.
course.
So I'm going to use. Can I use my aid action to move Dalewyn?
Um, I don't know that you can use the aid action to do that. You can help him do something. What is it Dalewyn's doing before you aid him?
Or, well, can I use? Then I will use my aid action to help
No.
the
See, this is the thing
king.
about Dungeon World. You don't say, "I'm going to use the aid action." You could
Well,
say, "I'm using Discern Realities," because that one is hard.
okay, then I am going to help the king free Max.
Fantastic. Roll plus bonds with the king.
What bonds with the king?
Exactly.
yeah.
You still
Oh,
nail it. Yes, and the king finally shoves aside
The old
uh,
king is dead. Long
Emery.
live the
Long live the
king.
king.
King shoves aside Emery
Whoa!
and
Shoves me
releases the
aside.
final luck.
Shoves aside Dalewyn.
Yeah, shoves aside Dalewyn and releases the final luck,
The
releasing.
seventh seal is broken.
Concentrate. Releasing Max Power, Max Havoc.
Havoc.
that
Wow, I'm trying to stay on target here, and I'm failing.
It's
too.
okay.
Releasing Max Havoc from his chains for the first time all scenario.
Releasing
Yes.
maximum havoc.
Ah!
Maximum power.
And the wind comes up behind me and blows my
havoc.
weird hair all around. And my hands are crackling with energy.
Are you using the prestidigitation spell?
No way. No, this crocodile thing isn't going to be impressed by that.
Well,
Uh,
that sounds like you're using prestidigitation. but okay.
Yeah, you know what? I will. I will try to do that.
Very well.
I'll
Press
be
the
like,
digit
power?
popcorn.
Roll to
You
cast a
promise
spell.
me power? I'm Max Havoc! Ah!
Face the havoc.
And it's 2d6 plus 2 minus 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you succeed. It seems relatively unimpressed. It opens its mouth and lets its tongue out, and your spell kind of like fizzles a little bit. Like, instead of your hair blowing so much, your hair kind of lies limply, but you still feel wind hitting you. Yeah. It continues to float closer, and in the process, it opens its mouth, and inside its mouth, you see things, Max Havoc.
Oh no.
You see things. You see yourself walking through a set of gates in a vast plain of nothingness. And there is a skeletal creature with a scythe wearing a black robe. And he pulls you into this land, and you just start falling. Like, you were walking on nothing, and then the nothing goes away, and you just start falling. Forever.
Nothing truly becomes nothing.
Yeah, and
Oh.
the skeletal creature floats next to you for a time. It seems like days, perhaps weeks. And then you're just left with your own thoughts forever. And then your mind snaps back to where you're at now. And you hear the sound of a dozen men all babbling strange arcane secrets in your ears, coming from the shadow crocodile as it continues to float ominously closer to you.
In that case, Well, I got this dragon-headed wand, and I don't know what it does. I mean, now would be a good time to see if I can find out what it does.
Yeah. Interesting. Are you attempting to use it? Are you like forcing magic through it?
Yeah, I'm gonna focus all my magic through it because that previous display did nothing to phase this thing. So.
Fascinating. All right. You focus magic through it. It starts shaking, and you feel arcane energies gathering in the wand, powered by your life. And you're like, as you're putting magic into it, it's pulling your life out of you. It's like removing years off of your fate.
Nice.
What would you like to do?
Told you, don't feed the demon.
I want to zap this thing.
Okay. All right. Make a volley roll.
What is my dex? Oh, it's +1. Look at that. Nope.
Okay. You have a choice. Would you like to move to get the shot placed? Would you like to take what you can get? Or would you like to use several shots?
I will take several shots.
Excellent. As you do, the wand comes apart, right? Like, you start forcing more and more energy. The wand falls apart as it pulls more and more of your life force out of you.
Ew.
I'm like, ah!
So you're just like holding the wand in place then?
Yeah,
Let
oh, yeah.
go, Max. Let
Kaboom,
go.
kaboom, kaboom.
It sounds to me, said the smug GM, for the fourth time this session, it sounds to me like you're defying danger by enduring it.
Yeah.
Would you
Totally.
like to roll plus Constitution?
No. 2d6 plus 1.
Okay. Mark XP.
Bad shit
Let
Yay!
happens.
go, Max! Let go!
The wand explodes.
Oh boy.
And before I tell you what happens, I need to know what the bear and your friends are doing. The king is kind of like trying to shield himself like this. He's like, ah, as he sees the wand like exploding. What are the rest of you doing?
Trying to get him to drop the wand.
Okay.
As I see what's about to happen, going, no, Max, no! Slow motion, of course.
Okay.
I'm gonna go hide behind a tree.
Okay. I think I need a defy danger roll with Dex from Emery. And I think I need a defend roll from Ilwind.
Defend.
Yeah, I think that you're trying to defend as far as I can tell.
That's fine. I just need to read defend because
Yeah.
that's a new one.
You're rolling plus con.
Plus con.
You're trying to like slap the wand out of his hand and prevent him from dealing damage to both him and you. Okay.
Alright, So I got the 9.
All right. Let's see here. Emery. Here's the deal. Bear is running with you. You could hide in the shadow of Bear. You could use Bear because he's so slow. You could just get in front of him. The explosion will hit him and not you. Or you could try to block for him.
But he's my brother.
So you're going to take the hit for him instead?
Yep.
Okay.
Screw it.
So you're like running forward, you notice Bear's lumbering along behind you, but he's just too damn slow. And you're like, no, Bear! 80s montage action leap.
Nice.
Exactly. I can't let Bear take the brunt of this
Not
damage.
You bear.
All right, Delwyn, you have one hold. You're standing in defense of your good friend Max. You could redirect the attack away from Max to yourself. You could half the attack's effect or damage to you or to him. Or you can, well, you could open up the attacker or deal damage to the attacker, all of which would be James. But what would you like to do? Yeah, you're like leaping in the way.
I think as I'm coming in to slap the wand out of his hand, I would like to have him take half damage.
Okay, all right. Roll a d6. No, not you. Roll a d6 max. That's how much damage everyone's going to take except yourself. You're going to take half. The bear takes no damage. All right. And that's fire damage. It is blocked by armor. As the wand explodes... In the process, from the fire, you see a creature form out of smoke. It's like a Chinese dragon that looks like a shrimp.
Yeah.
He brought the dragon.
It's got like 8 eyes up front, and it's got like a wavy Chinese dragon body, and it's got little tendrils that hang down like shrimp from its body. And it flies off into the sky.
Do I know what the hell that was?
Why don't you tell me? Why don't you spout some more about it? Roll plus int.
Roll.
Yeah, you know what this is. This is a Fusang Long. It is a object which is also a dragon spirit. So the spirits in this world can inhabit objects, and this is a former dragon that died and was stored inside a wand.
Wow.
Now that you have fed it enough blood, it will become a dragon again.
You mean use enough blood magic?
Yeah, it drained your life force from you.
Wow.
There's your dragon, Your Majesty.
So when you say that, the king is like, but that is not the apocalypse engine. That is no dragon of pestilence. That is a spirit of fire. He's like, oh God, Owen, you're dead. No, and he's like, my friend, thank you for saving me, Owen. Oh. And all of the little creatures that were at the edge of the area, all of the tiny flying geckos, start like hovering in like fairies and cover Owen's body up and start hover lifting him in the air. And the king is like, take him to the resting place. Owen died as a hero to our people. The king is like, I don't know what to do with the rest of you. Just Owen died because of you, he says. Owen died because of you three.
I will commemorate him. And I pull out my pipes and I start playing the Dirge of Ileana.
So I'm still confused. What happened to the shadow of the crocodile?
That's an excellent question. It's no longer there.
I destroyed it, of course.
Yeah, so what happened was there was the bright flash when the wand exploded. The crocodile shadow is no longer there.
Okay. Well,
That's
if
something you could ask about. You could perhaps... It sounds like you're trying to discern realities.
no, I was just wondering if it was still
Are
there.
you sure you don't want to discern realities?
I mean, you could find out lots of stuff.
Yeah. You could leave yourself open to horrible dangers.
I could, and probably will.
Okay, let's do it.
Just roll an 11 like I did.
I love that you're like, yeah, just be like me. Roll high all the time.
Max Havoc, right? All the time.
Never
Maximum.
jade that wand. Roll ones all day, every day, am I right?
Ah,
Okay.
I discern
you
enough.
Get to ask 3 questions from that list.
Discern this reality.
Yes, discern them.
Who's really in control here?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think no one is. I think no one is. Yeah.
Okay.
The situation
What
is
here is not what it appears to be?
Oh, that's a great question. All right. I think that when that dragon was flying away, you caught a glimpse of the shadow crocodile turning into a
Oh,
shadowy
no.
version of the dragon and
No!
attaching itself to that dragon.
No!
No! We're gonna have to go find the dragon spirit after all.
The apocalypse engine will be
All right, and final question. What here is useful or valuable to me?
there. Nice.
Yeah. So, what here useful and valuable to you is the word of Owen. And I think this is where we establish the flashback, where Owen has summoned you to a tavern. And obviously he's still alive in the flashback, and he's like, Emery, you've come. It's me, Owen, the owlbear.
He's wearing a giant cloak.
And hang on,
Yeah, I
need to
think
set
he
so-
is. Okay,
I need
so
to
I
set
think
something up for this
he's
flashback.
Aragorning, right? He's doing the
Yeah.
Strider thing. He's
Whoa.
like smoking a pipe in
That's
the
what I
back
do all the
room
time.
of a tavern, and it's like a dark, seedy tavern, and you're in the darkest corner of it, and the 3 of you show up, and he's like, "You've come, excellent." Oh no, we've lost Jim.
Not
So,
again.
Here's the other question. Well, here's my setup for that.
Okay.
While this is going on, I am bent over Owen because he was my friend here,
Yep.
and I am mourning him as this all comes flooding back to me.
Yeah. Fantastic. Although we did lose Jim, I think we've lost his microphone.
I'm right here.
Oh, excellent. You were moving your mouth, but nothing was coming out.
That was because I was muttering, I hate Skype.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
reasonable.
It
So-
just turned off for no reason again.
Yeah, we're talking to Owen, and Owen's like, "You've come."
This is in the flashback. You
Yeah.
said.
What do you guys do in the flashback?
What have you called me here for, Owen?
Emery, I know that you and your friends are very competent. This land has been cloaked by darkness recently. The king is not well. He sees phantoms where there are none, and a strange creature has begun to grow out of his back. As you know, us fairy folk, we cannot act directly against our king. We need outside assistance. Someone must slay this monstrosity that grows on his back and end whatever it is that curses the king. You can tell, like, he's having trouble saying these things to you. Like, his hands are really, or his talony claws are really tight on his drink. And I think the drink shatters while he's talking. He's like, oh, it's so difficult.
We
And, like,
all have our time.
he slides like a bag across the counter. He says, "Will this be enough? I can get you inside. I can get you close enough to the king. I've prepared a cover story. One among you will need to be brought before him for judgment."
Well, Max is like, I think I'm gonna need a little more than that.
I'll be
Bag
right
of
back. The dogs are
coin.
whining at the door.
Okay, so you try to get more out of him, and he's like,
I've heard rumors that you folk have lines to secret treasures beyond the realms of mortal men.
"Oh, interesting. Why don't you make a parlay roll?"
Uh,
Yeah, you're trying to leverage or manipulate him. Roll charisma.
oh Jesus!
Good luck.
Excellent. He does something you asked for if you make a promise to him first. Fantastic. He says, "Very well." And he writes something on a scroll and then tucks it into his cloak and says, "I'll keep this on me at all times. When you've completed the job, this scroll will give you the location to a treasure trove, a magical sword made of rainbows. They call it the Sword of Steel. I don't get it."
Well, it's spelled the other way.
Why is it made of rainbows if it's called the Sword of Steel?
He says, "I just said I don't get it."
It's spelled the other way.
So all I have to say is, while the flashback is going on, can I be like discreetly attempting to find said scroll?
Yeah, of course. So I think like the flashback cuts in and out like as you're looking at him, and then like, you
Yeah.
pull the scroll out, and you can see like the scroll had some sort of magical binding on it, and when you touch it, the binding falls off.
Oh, because the job is
Ooh.
complete.
And
It was
Do we have
for-
anything else we need to do in the flashback? I mean, before we resolve that. Is there anything else you'd like to say to your good friend Owen before he dies?
I had said in the flashback, because I'm so emo, perhaps it is simply your king's time. Our times all come for us. Some too soon. Too soon.
So
And then I wander off into a corner and play the Dirge of Ileana.
yeah, I think you're. So what happens is you're playing the Dirge of Ileana, and the barmaid comes over and like brings him a new drink and like cleans up the old one and pats him on the back. And she's like, what are the half deer women, like the faunas or whatever? She's like half deer, and she's like patting him on the back. She just wanders off, and you're playing the Dirge of Ileana, and we cut to the present, and we see like the king mourning over this body as the geckos are lifting it into the air, and maybe like the wings make like a low humming noise to like be a harmony with your song of all the hundreds of flying geckos.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he gets carried off, and the king is like singing the Dirge of Ileana while you play it. Oh, fantastic!
That's it's bringing some tears.
That's
The
gloriousness.
feels. The
Yeah.
feels are there.
All the feels, bro.
I'm trying to bring up feels.
All
It's
the
hard.
feels.
Just remember, Owen the Owlbear tried to save the kingdom.
He did.
I think
fact-
we're gonna cut to a week later, and it's going to be in like a stone room. So like the typical dungeon room that you might expect, or a castle room, And the king is there, and there's a feast going on. and you are the only attendees. You know, like there's lots of places, but there's no one there. It's just the three of you and him. And he is eating a piece of roasted meat. And when we look over the table, we see that it's like a skinned crocodile. He's like, I've taken some pleasure in eating this meat over the last week. I feel someone must avenge Owen. I know now that the Apocalypse Engine is not real. The rumors were Owen's creation in order to get someone close to me, the ghost, to slay it. But I fear now you have released something far more dangerous. I don't understand what happened with the wand, but from the descriptions from my advisors, it would seem that we now have a new dragon, born into blood again, haunted by the spirit that controlled me.
Yeah.
Even
Wonder how
the
that happened.
dragon cannot stand against the onslaught of its terrible power of death forever. And he just keeps eating after saying that, dropping the shell.
It would seem you have your Apocalypse Engine after all, then.
He says, perhaps. And, you know, like he sticks another piece of crocodile in his mouth and chews on it. He says, I doubt that this dragon is anywhere near as powerful as the Apocalypse Engine, but...
But a dragon empowered by this creature of shadow and death is much stronger than a dragon alone, is it not? I'm spouting lore.
Oh, of course. Why not? Go ahead. Roll plus int. And I will tell you things. I think during this process, he takes a drink of his mug at the same time as I do.
Bet.
Yeah, so you're trying to recall what you know about shadow creatures. And I think what happens is you see a flashback. So I think you were sitting on top of Max while he was looking into the open mouth of this creature. So you didn't see everything that happened, but
Yeah.
you definitely saw yourself speaking with death. And you're about to talk about shadow creatures, and then you find yourself unable to speak. You're like, something is blocking you from speaking on this subject.
Oh.
Was that a fail then?
Yeah, you rolled a 6.
So that's is that an
Mark
XP?
XP! XP? What? XP? Yeah.
Two.
The king is just like, something wrong with you?
The memory of Ileana is clearly. I must go. And I run out of the chamber.
So when you go, the king is like, the memory of Ileana, well, he must really like that song. I don't know why anyone would love a funeral dirge. He turns to the other two of you and is like, if only there were some heroes in this land who could slay the dragon. Alas, my own folk are too weak. Owen was the only mighty warrior among my people.
We may be able to assist you, my king.
So
As Owen was a dear friend of mine.
he turns toward you and says, yes, Owen was a dear friend of mine, and for your responsibility in his death, I fear I cannot trust you. I still find myself waking up in the night and hating you. None of this would have happened if you had not failed in keeping Owen alive.
But think of what would have happened if we hadn't intervened.
So he kind of looks at you guys and he's like, you humans, and you attempt to use logic. Us fairy folk see things differently. You have always been fated to kill Owen, it seems, through your sheer incompetence.
You think fate had anything to do with that?
He turns toward you, Max, and says, "Yes, I do think fate had something to do with it. I'll give you a chance, Max. As it seems